In this video, I'm going to be walking you through a mathematical process to start signing clients for your agency. It takes you from a goal that you have with your agency into daily actions that you can execute on right now to actually grow that agency. I'm giving it to you for free. I'm literally going to be giving you this spreadsheet in the description of this video. So watch this video in full, understand how it works, implement it for yourself, and you'll be making progress very, very soon on this. This is the process that allowed me to scale my agency to 40 grand a month. And with every agency I work with right now, I take them through this. And I take the North Star goal, I boil it down into daily actions. And I thought, why not automate it? Why not give it to you guys? So let's walk you through this. With any agency right here, you can see that we need a monthly revenue goal. You cannot progress towards anything if you don't have a North Star goal every single month set out to hit. So in the start of the spreadsheet, you're going to define your goal. It could be 10 grand, 15, 20 grand, whatever it is. You can literally write this right here. And you can see there's green parts of the spreadsheet and there's gray parts of the spreadsheet. The green is what you're going to manually edit. If you ever try to click into the gray right here, you'll see that I actually automated it for you so you don't have to worry about it. For the green part, you're going to put in your monthly revenue goal right here. And then average order value per client. This is also a metric you should really define for your agency if you have not already. If a customer comes on a sales call and they buy, out of all the customers that you have, what's the average order size? How much money did they pay you? This is necessary for you to know because when you're trying to calculate month in, month out, what you want to make, you need to know how many customers you need. And then to get those customers, we'll be talking about in a second, how to calculate the daily actions from that. So we need the average order value. If you don't have clients right now and you're watching this video, this is for the beginners, just do a setup fee of anywhere from $300 to $1,000. This is just a general principle I recommend to signing clients, an effective rate, and start getting your first few case studies to increase that upfront price. So you can base it off of something $300 to $1,000 with the performance offer in the back end. So write your average order value. Someone comes in, what's your offer right now? Write that number right here. Okay, so let's presume here you're charging $1,000 up front. It's automatically going to calculate you need 10 clients. So we have North Star goal. We know our pricing. We need 10 clients a month to make that happen. Then you can go down here. Okay. I ask you for total appointments booked, total shows, and total closes. This is kind of the most important thing you can possibly do as well when you're mapping this out in terms of your goals. Need to know these three metrics right here. And we track this religiously at my company, and I teach people to do so as well. You need how many appointments did you book total ever. Need to know how many showed up to those appointments ever, and you write that in the spreadsheet, and how many did you close from this. And what it's going to do is see these numbers right here. It's going to auto-calculate. If you don't have these metrics and you're a beginner, like I said earlier, I give you some very conservative numbers. And it's crucial to know here when you're calculating metrics for your own business, you always want to be unbelievably conservative. You always want to do a really, really big bare minimum on everything you do, just so you're not overshooting it. It's like, hey, look, if we do the worst possible thing ever and we perform really badly, this is going to be our metrics for the month. So that's what we're going to do here. You can see with the metrics I gave you, it auto-calculate a 66% show rate, a 15% close rate, and a 10% close rate on all booked calls, right? So we have a close rate on shows, we have a close rate on booked calls. Now we're going to get into the really spicy good stuff. We have cold calling, we have ads. Cold calling is one of the most popular, one of the most effective outreach methods you can possibly use to contact clients, especially if your clients are, let's say, answering their phone all the time, like real estate agents or even gyms or even landscapers or even roofers. Cold calling works. It's just one of those things that actually works. So what you're going to do is you really only need one metric for this. It's the most simple metric out of all of them. Here's how you calculate it. If you do 100 calls, how many people are booking in off of those 100 calls? And I don't mean people who picked up the phone. I just mean like you called 100 people, they didn't answer, some answered. How many did you book? That's all you need. Once you get that number, you have an appointment booking rate. So out of 100 people, how many booked a damn sales call with you? This is what we need. So that turns into ABR, which is appointment booking rate. What you're going to do is write this number right here. That's all you need to do. And once you have this, I'm telling you, this is actually so simple. It's so simple, and nobody does it because they don't want to track their numbers. But if you track your numbers, you know exactly what you can do with your agency to scale it. It's like you put in X amount of hours, X amount of calls, and you get one client. All right, so now what it automatically does is auto-calculates calls needed per appointment off of your appointment booking rate. If you have a 3.2% ABR, which is very conservative, it's like you're like mediocre at cold calls getting a 3% ABR. You can probably get up to 4 to 5% depending on the niche. You can get 3.2. So that means you need 31 calls made per appointment on your calendar if you're booking at that rate. So it auto-calculates that. And you realize now, everybody, like if you put this in perspective, this is not that difficult. 31 calls probably takes you 20, 25 minutes if you're being very conservative with it. Like not even. So there you go, 31 calls per one appointment. Then what it does is go call needed per client. Now you have how many cold calls do you need to do to get one client out of your system? Like down to an actual number. Being conservative. Okay? So we're using bare minimums. 312 calls if you have a 3% appointment booking rate, 3.2%. Every 312 calls, you're getting a client. All right, so that's pretty simple. What that does is then calculates total monthly calls needed, which is essentially the number you shouldn't even worry about. What you need to look at after this is every single weekday, how many cold calls do you need to do to get one client out of your system? Weekday. I didn't even put in weekends here because if you don't want to work weekends, completely fine. Some kind of appointment booking rates kind of drop during the weekend. So if you're calling in weekdays, we get 22 days of the month. 22 days of the month, you call 142 times. You get your appointments. you get your clients from that, and it auto calculates. Now you literally have the actual daily actions to hit your 10 grand a month. Whatever you're setting out to achieve, you have the daily actions to hit it. So this is just going to auto calculate off of whatever you enter into the green parts of the spreadsheet. Now, last part, and this is for my advanced guys who are watching this. If you ever want to run ads with your agency, you need to do the exact same thing. So if you're running ads, what's the cost per lead? If you go into your Facebook ads manager, you can just simply see a cost per lead. It could be anywhere from, in some niches, $3 to $4 up to like $20, $30, $40, depending on the niche, completely depending on the niche. Let's say our cost per lead is $7 for sake of an example. You get, how many leads have you generated so far? Total. How many leads? At $7.31, how many leads have you generated? After that, how many appointments on your calendar did you get from running those ads? Those three numbers are all you need to know I spend $243 on my advertising to get one $1,000 upfront client. Okay. It's not that difficult. You run $243 in advertising and you get one client in the back end out of it. Okay. So this is exactly a mathematical process to start signing clients, and you know every day you sit down on your computer and you know what to do. So I wish I had this when I started. What I want to talk about now is what I call bottleneck testing. And what you're going to find when you're looking through these metrics, you're going to have probably one or two metrics or many metrics at once that are not sufficient, that you really want to improve. And this is what a business is. It's just fixing the bad parts of the business continually until most of your business has good metrics. And then you're scaling your business like a madman. So this is the theory of constraints. This is what I use in my business to understand what is going wrong and what is going right. Think of a tube. Think of water running through the tube, okay? So it's a pipe or a tube, and there's water running through it, and at the end, we have water coming out. In an ideal scenario, this pipe should be a normal pipe. It should not be clogged anywhere. It should not have stops anywhere in the pipe. What happens when you have a clog in the pipe? You have this right here that is blocking the water in this scenario, and you only have water coming through this little section of the pipe, okay? Your output of this pipe is going to be dependent on this, and this is called a bottleneck. Think of bottlenecks in a system. This is called a bottleneck right here. The theory of constraints states that you're going to be held up by your biggest bottleneck at all times, or many bottlenecks. And until you fix that bottleneck, your system will not grow because you still have the water being cut off right here, and you cannot grow your system. How does this relate to business? Let's erase this for a second. What you're going to find is that this is exactly the same for your business. Okay. This is exactly the same. Think about it this way. You have cold calls that you do to get customers inside your business. Then you get leads from the cold calls. Then you get appointments from the cold calls. Then you get sales from the cold calls. Then you have to deliver on the service. So service delivery. Okay. And then you have churn, and then you have client retention. So this whole process that we're going through in terms of someone just discovering your business to them becoming a customer is a pipe in itself. Okay. And what we have with each section of the business are metrics. And this is what we use to track how healthy is each part of the business at any time. That's why numbers are so important. So what I'm getting at here is when you have a bottleneck in your business and you're looking at all of these metrics and you're like, I have a, let's say, super bad show rate. Let's say you book 150 appointments and 20 of them are showing up. You have a 13% show rate. Okay. So now you're like, this is insane. This is a massive bottleneck. It's like you have show rate right here, which is just blocking all of your appointments from going through. So this is what I want you to keep in mind. Fix the bottlenecks in your system and focus on one at a time. Don't go about fixing 10 at a time. Go through the sheet, see where your numbers are lacking or where they can be improved, and fix it systematically. And use a theory of constraints like I have on the screen right here to fix everything that's going on in the sheet that you don't like. Whatever's wrong, fix it, improve the system, do that continually through every single part of the system. I hope you enjoyed this. In the description, there'll be a link and you can get this for free. Again, it's in my free school community. You can just join it. I'll put a pin post for the next week having this sheet and you can simply get it for free. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you later. Goodbye.